Welcome back to the Lost Digit. Today we're looking at unboxing, setting up, and then just the overall interface of the iPhone 10. So luckily it arrived for me on launch day so that I can get this video out to you guys. And just remember, there's going to be a lot more content about this phone, and if you want to see things like in-depth camera comparisons, overall interface videos, things like that, make sure you subscribe on the bottom under this video, and let's get to it. So first in the box you'll see there's the documentation, the iPhone, the charger, lightning cable, headphones to lightning, and then a lightning to 3.5mm jack. Now if we look at the phone, the volume buttons feel great. The power button also is pretty large compared to other phones, and there still is the SIM tray. The phone is also still lightning and has stereo speakers. The first thing you'll notice is how good the screen looks, and in person it's actually much nicer than anything I've seen on video. So really you have to try it in person to see how nice it is, and it's surpassed my expectations overall. In terms of build quality, it's actually thinner than I expected in the hand, and it just feels very solid, which is nice. First thing I did is set up Face ID, and that was actually really easy to do, but they still make you choose a 6-number passcode just in case, as a backup. So once you create the passcode, then you can go on and do other things and continue setting up the phone. So what I did is I set it up as a new phone, and then later I logged into my Gmail and it automatically pulled the contacts that way. So I prefer to do that to keep all of my stuff synced through Google, just because I switch through Android phones a lot. And I always do the manual setup, and I turn off as much as I can. I try to keep it pretty bare bones, but that's just personal preference. The True Tone display is nice. So I saw in another video somewhere that the white balance sensor or the light sensor has 10 different levels, and it's able to detect 10 different types of light, so it'll adjust the screen differently. So here we are on the new home screen with the iPhone 10, with the OLED display, with the edge-to-edge display, and let me just tell you, in person it looks even better than it does in video. So this thing is really nice, and the more I use it, the smoother the interface gets, I guess because it's settling down. And to switch between apps, all you have to do is swipe your thumb across the bottom. You don't really have to go upwards at all, but just left or right, and it works fine. So what I was trying to do there is I was trying to bring down the mode that lets it be more accessible. So when you swipe down on the bottom, it should bring the top half and make it more reachable, but I wasn't able to do that yet. So the first thing I do is I go into camera and I look at all the different modes, but to be able to do 4K 60, it actually records in high efficiency modes, so HEVC. But for Final Cut Pro X, I can't use that format without converting it. So I just go back to the compatible version, and I'm going to be recording in 4K 30 for my video tests. So what we have here is the new control center, and you swipe down from the top right to access it. You can change things really easily, and you can also customize this in the settings. So what I'm showing you here is how easy it is and how responsive the iPhone 10 is. But also, if you'll notice at the top, the infrared sensor keeps twitching, so I'm not really sure what it's trying to detect here when I'm just using the phone regularly. So that's me trying to make it more reachable again, but it's not working. I might have to turn it on in the settings. Switching apps is seamless, and that's probably going to be one of the best features of the phone for me, is being able to switch apps that easily and that quickly. But wait, I'm going to show you a lot more about this phone. So not only is it built well, but all of the built-in apps run really well so far. And as soon as I finished the video, I installed all of my usual apps, Spotify, WhatsApp, Nest, these sorts of things. And WhatsApp was immediately iPhone X capable from launch day, but things like Spotify still had the borders on the top and bottom. So Face ID is working pretty well. Also, one time it was on the couch next to me, and I was kind of looking at it from quite a distance actually, and the phone was facing up and I was to the right of it and it's still unlocked. So it's actually better than I expected. Here's a sample photo that I just took. I was just trying the different modes here. So portrait mode is a little more zoomed in because it's using the different lens. When you zoom in, it looks pretty nice, and the notch is not really in the way or obnoxious. One thing I wanted to try was the stereo speakers, because that's not something they really emphasized in the keynote. But as soon as you go to my channel, The Lost Digit, and try one of my videos, you can see that the speakers are actually stereo, and there's one in the top and one in the bottom. It also sounds very good, and the audio is pretty well balanced, similar to how MacBooks sound. It's very easy to zoom and have the content play in a longer aspect ratio or wider aspect ratio, and that's just up to you if you mind some of the content being clipped or not. I think it looks really nice, and I'll probably watch most of my stuff zoomed in like that. So I just want to show you a few more things, and if you want to see in-depth camera comparisons and other overall videos about the iPhone X, make sure you subscribe. See you in the next one.